After being on vacation for almost 3 days and being basically AFK all those 3 days because at the house in which I'm in, I have no Wi-Fi, I have come to the realization that the company and the infrastructure as to which we have built allowed for me to basically step away from the company and then continue to run itself. And this is some place in the position that a lot of business owners want to get to. And not to say that I am ahead and I'm one of the best, but it has given me a good idea on as to how to run a company and as to how you can basically build up the things within your company that are necessary in order for you to basically, or in order for the company to run itself, is what I'm trying to say. And I took some notes here and I stemmed it to the four main things that have allowed for the company to run itself. And I liked having everything principle based because at the end of the day, everything stems from principles. First principle thinking from all the greatest scientists which I've studied, that being Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Napoleon as well, not technically a founder, Genghis Khan, who was another conqueror from his era. But I've studied all of these guys, and what all of their thinking falls on is first principle thinking and just basically stripping things down to the basics and having everything stem from there. And these four main things are the things as to which have a lot for our company to scale to multiple seven figures per year and have a lot for it to basically run itself. And the first one is people. Everything stems from good people, and this is one of the things as to which Steve Jobs always said whenever he was one of the books as to which was written about him, and whenever he was building Apple, is every single good idea that Apple ever had and every single thing that Apple had ever done was from people. He said that the last thing that he would ever delegate was the hiring process and hiring people, because everything from Apple came from people. At the end of the day, business, what is business? Business is just a group of people working together to achieve a culminated or a certain objective. But it all stems from people. Good ideas stems from people, product stems from people. Everything stems from a good team and having good people in place. And whenever you have a good team in place, everything that's over here in the backside allows for, basically pulls it down and allows for it to kind of be forced. And one of the other biggest things is, I was asked a while ago, what do I prefer, good product or good people? And I said good people, very obviously, because a good product comes from a team of good people. Everything stems from good people. A good team of people is able to take a mediocre product or a mediocre idea and make it something a lot better. That is basically this and the heart of a good company is the talent as to which you have. And that's the cool thing about AI is now with AI, you're able to enhance the extra talent in your company and you're able to make them a bit more leveraged. So that's something as to which we've been doing. Now, the second thing is comms, communication lines. Good communication lines are the thing that allow for your company to have a breathing heart, or a breathing lungs and a heart, and allow for it to kind of palpitate and allow for this, like, it's, as to how I like putting it, it's like the neural pathways within your brain. I took some notes here. It's the neural pathways within your brain, within your company's brain, that allow for things to actually be triggered and allow for things to happen. I have seen so many companies die and so many companies go bust due to the fact that they have, well, this is like smaller agencies. I'm not talking about like 4,500 companies here. I'm talking about smaller companies that have died because of the lack of communication within the team. And because of lack of communication lines, and people not knowing as to who to go to, people not knowing as to who does what, people not having clear assigned ownership roles. Everything stems from good communication lines. Good people need good communication lines, and it kind of also stems from good infrastructure. But at the end of the day, I've noticed so many benefits from having good communication lines. One of the biggest ones as well is speed. Whenever you have good communication within your team, it allows for you to be faster and for you to outcompete your competitors, and it allows for you to basically be able to be faster than them. And if there's one thing which I've learned from business, is speed is one of the most crucial things that you can have. So communication lines are extremely important, and one of the things which I have here. And yeah, company runs on communication lines, and no communication kills companies. Now, the third thing is forcing functions. And I took this one from Elon Musk and SpaceX. And what forcing functions are is basically the thing that allows, that forces for that certain thing to occur. Basically, that's how I like calling it in simple terms, is the feedback loop. The thing that kind of like forces the action to occur. Whether it be a positive feedback loop, whether it be a negative feedback loop, whether it be a reward, whether it be a punishment, whether it be kind of like having a call that allows people to go over their KPIs, whatever that forcing function may be, it is a thing that forces for the person to do a certain thing or for the company to kind of be forced in a certain way. Those are the biggest things as which I've one of the biggest things as which I don't see that is talked about enough is forcing functions. Basically the thing that forces for shit to happen. Kind of like as how I like explaining it is there's like a certain movement that the company does every single week, and it's you could say that the thing that pushes it forward, the thing that's pushing for things to occur, and the thing that's forcing for the company to actually run. So forcing functions, SpaceX, Gwynne Shotwell talks about it in SpaceX, and basically just having the forcing function within your company to actually force things to happen. Now, the fourth thing, culture. Culture is I think it's at heart for comms, but comms is more like the brain. and culture is the heart of the company. Culture is the thing that is one of the most imperative things because it allows for good work to actually occur. Whenever you have a good culture in place, whenever the people within your company are all like-minded individuals and have the same way of thinking, what happens is it kind of puts them in a natural flow state, and it basically puts people in this mental state within clarity that they are basically able to strive and they're able to thrive within the company because it's a good culture. It's where they thrive. It's where they feed off of. So, for example, if you have a YouTube agency or you have a creative agency, having a culture where you incentivize people to try new things and for you to incentivize new ideas because it kind of puts them to that flow state. You kind of just joking around in some ways, I guess you could say. But culture is a thing that allows for good work to happen and that allows people to enjoy the work and it allows for people to want to go to work. Because at the end of the day, money's a great incentive. Money is fantastic. Everyone wants to work for money. Who doesn't want to work for money? But one of the things I wish isn't talked about enough is how important culture is for good work to actually occur and for people to actually enjoy their work and for them to want to wake up and not necessarily like, oh yeah, I'm just working for my paycheck. But no, the culture is a thing that allows for people to enjoy their work and for them to want to do more, for them to want to, I guess you could say, go to war for the company. Culture is one of the most important things within the companies that allow for it to run itself. Because whenever you have a good culture as well, what happens is people tend to have higher agency. And what higher agency means is people just tend to want to take more action. Basically want to do more, I could say. But these are the main things as to which I have studied and as to which we have implemented within our company that have allowed for it to scale, to kind of run itself in a lot of ways. And I don't want to say like, oh, I'm stepping away from the company. It just so happens that I'm on vacation with some family. And as much as I want to be working, as much as I want to be online, I have no Wi-Fi. So I'm forced to not work. And even to that point, there's still things that I need to add to the company that are going to allow for it to scale and grow even more aggressively without me. That being on the acquisition and on the sales side. But I'll be making another video on that and I said what things as to which we are actively implementing to allow for that to happen. But in terms of as to where we are for steady growth, people, communication lines, force and functions, and culture. And these four things allow for the company to run relatively smoothly without me being in the day-to-day.